Warning! This video contains spoilers for Make Your Mark Chapter 2. I have a spoiler-free review if you would rather watch that instead, linked in the icon above and in the description. So the first episode of Chapter 2 is what I would say is the worst one of them all. If you were trying to hook an audience, sorry, you've already failed. The main reason I say this is because it's incredibly bland. Essentially nothing happens for a full 22 minutes. It starts off with Izzy making a hair accessory for Sunny. Pip then decides to make it go viral, because she can. Izzy then gets an overwhelming demand to create more of these hair accessories from ponies all over Equestria. And by all ponies across Equestria, I mean this one random guy who tosses it aside the moment he sees it. This minor hiccup causes Izzy to get creative burnout. Meanwhile, Pip is trying to write a new song, but she can't because she is also feeling creative burnout. And that's it. That's basically the entire episode. But wait, I hear you saying, what's the resolution to this story? Well, you see, I'm having trouble figuring that out myself. In fact, I wouldn't even say there is one, because it ends with Izzy unicycling one of Pip's old songs. How does she do this? Literally just by playing her song on her phone and placing it on a cart, along with what looks like a plastic record player and a bobblehead. Pip then starts singing the song, Izzy never makes those hair accessories every pony wanted. Episode over. Like, I was genuinely surprised when the credits started rolling because I didn't think that the conflict in the episode was resolved. Oh, we also find out through some extremely heavy-handed exposition as to why Misty serves Opaline. Turns out she saved her as a filly from something some time ago for some reason. It's very unclear why she would save her, and it's also a very weak reason to have Misty serve her forever given how bad she's treated by Opaline. Opaline also has Misty leave Sunny a magic mirror to spy on her with. It's wrapped up in a ribbon and is left for Sunny, who thinks it is a gift from Pip, who is of course just like, oh yeah, totally my gift, without even considering that maybe one of her other friends left it for her. Just immediately claims credit for it. Episode 2. Earth Pony magic is going haywire and causing plants to grow everywhere. This episode was better than the last, but it still feels like nothing has happened. There's barely any plot to this. Oh, and guess what? Sprout is back! Are you excited? Well, prepare yourself for disappointment because he does literally nothing. It's not explained why he's not in jail, what happened to him after the events of the movie. He's just there along with a different voice actor because of course he is. Hitch starts talking with a group of fillies who are the most annoying characters ever, second only to Sparky Sparkeroni. Everything they say is annoying, everything they do is annoying, I don't like them. They misinterpret something that Hitch says, and they take that as permission to grow giant plants all over the town. They also decide to shout it out to the whole town to go nuts. And every pony is immediately like, yeah, okay, if the kids say to wreck the town, I guess we'll wreck the town. Hitch doesn't even bother to correct them. At least not until later when he straight up outlaws magic, because as a sheriff, he apparently has the power to do that. Hitch goes to remove the Earth Pony crystal from the other two, thinking that it will stop Earth Pony magic. But last second, he has a very sudden change of heart for some reason, which somehow out of the blue causes Zordon to appear before them out of a hologram, which somehow out of the blue causes Twilight Sparkle to just appear before them in a hologram. And this is by far the worst part of the entire series, if you ask me. Twilight says that if they are seeing this, Earth Pony magic has been activated for the first time, which, no. It's been around a while now, Twilight. You're a bit late to the party. Still no explanation as to why it wasn't activated when the crystals came together in the first place. But you know what? Whatever, let's keep going. She then explains that she put all of the magic in Equestria in these crystals in order to keep Opaline from stealing the magic. Yes, it is the same motivation they gave the T-Rex and the Storm King because the show is incredibly uninspired and not unique in any way. She then tells them, hey, better watch out for the villain because she's coming for you, and then disappears into the crystals. And I'm sitting there saying, what? No! Are you seriously telling me that you failed to stop this villain, and so now you are pawning off the responsibility to some random group of ponies in the future and just hope that they can handle it? If Twilight herself couldn't defeat her, then why is she okay with magic returning in the first place? Here's an alternative message. Hey guys, magic has returned, but it can't stay because there's an evil alicorn out there who wants to steal it all and take over Equestria. Separate the crystals and hide them away where no pony will ever find them. This is the only way to keep Equestria safe. Okay, bye! Eventually, they find the solution to controlling the plant magic, and no joke, the way that they learn to control their magic is literally by being told to control their magic. It's like saying, oh, you want to learn to drive? Well, just drive, silly. Episode 3 is definitely a bit better. Still not great, but it has a few really good areas. It's about Pip and Zip needing to get a portrait done with her mother. Pip is eager to do it, but Zip does not want to. Opaline then sends Misty to trap them in a cave by sending a picture of a rare flower to Zip, who now wants to find it and use it in the portrait. I'm not sure how she got Zip's contact information, but whatever. Pip and Zip find the flower in a cave, and Misty closes off the entrance. They start fighting, and hurtful things are said. Zip feels bad about it and starts singing a song. And this is actually the best part of the whole show, if you ask me. It's a song about Portrait Day that earlier in the episode, Pip started singing, and Zip basically told her to shut up. It's a really nice song. It's a really sweet way for them to make up. My only wish is that it was longer, but I have that problem with all of the songs in this show. They are all way too short, and some of them aren't even completed. They just cut off the songs before they're even finished singing them. Anyway, Zip and Pip manage to escape the cave through the power of low signal and social media as the Pipsqueaks come in to save the day. Zip, for some reason, only grabs one of the flowers for their mother rather than grabbing all of them. I mean, there were 3 there. You could have just each had one. I really don't understand these characters sometimes. Misty returns home to Opaline to let her know that her plan has failed. Get used to this. Just about every episode has Opaline hatching some sort of evil plan then failing. Overall, this episode was much better than the other 2 because Zip and Pip are actually somewhat interesting characters here. Episode 4, Sunny spontaneously decides that every pony is way too unhealthy and tries to get them all to eat more vegetables. She also suggests that they should form a community garden for the town to go to and grow food at, which honestly seems to me like that's what she really wants, and this whole eat more fruits and veggies thing is just an excuse to make the garden. She then finds out that no pony wants to listen to her, and one pony even says, and I quote, "Not another one of Sunny's lost causes." Oh, you mean like the lost cause of bringing back the unity between the ponies? Is that the lost cause you were referring to? Because we're never shown anything else to suggest otherwise. Sunny then turns into an alicorn and finds out that apparently everyone is willing to do whatever she says so long as she has those wings and horn activated. Really weak and shallow storytelling here. But you know what? Whatever. It's G5. I don't expect much at this point. Opaline then sees that Sunny doesn't want to be an alicorn at all times, and so she talks with her through the mirror disguised as Sunny, claiming to be her inner thoughts or something? Trying to convince her to always be an alicorn. And she is being the most blatantly evil character here while talking with Sunny, by the way. Somehow, Sunny is such a complete gullible idiot that she buys all of this and doesn't realize that this obviously evil character is claiming to be her inner thoughts, despite the fact that she's saying the complete opposite of everything Sunny has been saying the entire episode. Opaline, for some reason, wants Sunny to be an alicorn at all times, and so she tells Sunny that if she's an alicorn, all of her deepest desires will come true. And then she says what is the funniest line in the whole show.
All your wildest dreams can come true!
Even the community garden? That's your wildest dream? We'll work on that. But yes!
Thing is, while this is funny, it comes at the cost of Sunny having a deeper character here, because her character's deepest desire is a joke, both funny and simultaneously disappointing. A social media group called the Philly Four then show up to encourage Sunny to stay in her alicorn form at all times. Misty has somehow infiltrated this group and is now there to help manipulate Sunny, and she even ends up talking directly with Sunny. Keep this in mind, for it is important later. In the end of the episode, the rest of the main 5 just make a community garden for Sunny because they are all so nice like that. This doesn't do anything for Sunny's character, but at least it makes the rest of them seem a little more likable. I think there was supposed to be a lesson in this episode about how it's not what someone looks like on the outside that matters, but it's what inside that counts. But they really failed miserably with that one. They did basically nothing to convey that story. Episode 5. This episode is basically a worse version of when Celestia and Luna swapped cutie marks, because in this episode, Hitch and Sunny swap cutie marks, and therefore switch both jobs and personalities for the day. Why does this happen? Well, it's because Sparky's magic is a do-anything button. He just sneezes and casually does what it took a highly skilled, highly trained unicorn like Starlight to do without even trying. It's not a bad episode. It gets the message across pretty well of what it's like to live in someone else's shoes, but it didn't do anything spectacular. And I suppose that is my biggest complaint, is that this could have been more. There's not really much for me to praise or criticize in this episode. I just want it to have a bit more substance. Also, Opaline sends a magical ghost mouse into the Bright House to spy on Sunny because for some reason the crystals block the mirror's magic. I don't know why they don't also block the mouse's magic, but fine. Whatever. This is how she learns about Sunny's lantern, which is important for a future episode. Episode 6. Now, this is where stuff starts to get a little more interesting. Misty gets to meet the main 5, and remember how I said before that Misty met Sunny when she tried to convince her to stay in Alicorn? Well, apparently she has completely forgot about her as Sunny treats her as though they have never met. Izzy invites Misty to a sleepover at the Bright House, and I will say I do enjoy their interactions. Misty is wonderful. She clearly lacks any social skills, seeing as how she has spent pretty much her entire life with Opaline and no pony else, and that is just adorable and fun to watch play out. She uses the sleepover as a way to try and steal Sunny's lantern because it has magical properties that Opaline wants, but she fails to get it. What I don't understand here is that she doesn't try to steal the crystals. You would think that those would be the #1 target, but nope! We're also given yet another explanation as to what happened to magic and caused division between the ponies, which apparently says that a unicorn hurt an earth pony one time, which caused an uproar, and so Twilight decided to put all the magic in the Unity crystals. Wait, so was she just putting the magic in there to protect them from Opaline, or was she doing it to stop the ponies from fighting? I can see a way that it would be both, but I'm just wondering how many reasons we're going to be given for magic disappearing and the cause of Equestria's division before we're given a concrete, cohesive story. Episode 7 opens up with what is probably the most horribly contrived thing I have ever seen in a story. Misty manages to steal Sunny's lantern. Now, if you were Misty, what do you do in this scenario? Do you A, bring the lantern back to Opaline to complete the mission, or B, have a change of heart after bonding with your new friends and return the lantern and warn them of Opaline? Well, neither, because the answer is C. Bury the lantern in the garden right outside their home so that you can come back and pick it up later for some reason. Couldn't we have at least been given an explanation like Misty saying, "Oh hey, it's late. I'm too tired to make the trip back to Opaline, so I will just hide it outside the Bright House and pick it up on my way out tomorrow." It's not a great explanation, but at least it's something. Anyway, Zip launches a full-blown investigation with the coolest set of detective gear ever. I want one. And Pip, of course, finds the lantern in the garden because it is so poorly hidden. She then takes the lantern and hides it elsewhere from Zip because she sees that Zip is having such a fun time looking for it and wants to prolong the investigation. And I think this is nice. I like seeing this side of Pip. It really helps her to become more than a shallow two-dimensional social media influencer who does nothing more than take selfies all day. I enjoyed this episode. I just wish that the plot didn't hinge on Misty doing this one incredibly contrived thing just so that the plot would work. Episode 8. This is the last one in the series so far. Opaline, because she gives up easily, tells Misty not to steal the lantern, but to instead steal Sparky because she can drain the magic from his fire breath. Now, this is a genuinely entertaining episode. I do really like watching Misty try to capture Sparky. I think it is fun. There's a bit of character development when she talks to Sparky, but it's really more just hammering in the same nails they've been hammering for a character, which is fine. It's good to drive home a point about a character. You just have to eventually start focusing on some other things or use that point to do something interesting. While Misty is trying to capture Sparky in a room somewhere, the entire town starts searching for him, and Hitch turns into what is the most ridiculous superhero ever. And I find it hilarious. And I find it funny because of how much it pushes his character to the extreme. And this is what I think Make Your Mark is missing. It doesn't do much to push the characters to their breaking point. Sparky going missing and Hitch going absolutely nuts is the closest we get to that. And I did enjoy it. They then all sing a lullaby for Sparky to draw him in from wherever he is. But the sound is somehow amplified by cutie mark magic? What? Wouldn't it make more sense for Pip to just, set up some giant speakers outside and blast the music across town? No? Okay, fine, whatever. It's a nice song, and it reminds me of Perry Come Home from Phineas and Ferb, but the amplified sound via cutie mark magic really bothers me. These writers clearly have no idea what cutie marks are or how they work. Misty fails to capture Sparky, but does manage to catch some of his fire breath in a jar and brings it to Opaline, who harnesses its power to grow stronger, but she is determined to get more. Hopefully she can now use this increased power to do something a little more interesting in the next few episodes. Overall, this series was okay at best. I'm really leaning more towards it was bad though. There were just too many problems. I really enjoyed some of the humor and the animation is better and the characters are better, but I can't say it's good. It has a lot of problems. Characters, while they may be better, aren't really good. Again, okay at best. Sunny definitely needs character beyond being the happy one of the group. Even Izzy has more emotional range than she does. If they don't up their game pretty soon, I'm pretty sure the series is gonna be a flop. Thing is, everywhere I look in this series, I can see where things could have been easily improved. They seem to be trying to make this long, overarching plot for the series as a whole, but it's moving so incredibly slow because Opaline keeps getting nowhere with her plan, and the main five are doing nothing to figure out who this evil Alicorn is and that Twilight was trying to warn them about. But what do you think of Chapter 2? Let me know in the comments your deepest desires for this show going forward. I also covered a few other points in my spoiler-free review that I tried not to go over a second time in this video, so if you're interested, click here to check it out.